Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Talk Life with me. So as mentioned before, I have a guest speaker. He was my mentor and he was the one that I looked up to, the one that led me in my in the business aspect when I first started my first job. So without further ado, I don't want to take up too much time because I'm sure he has a lot to share with us. But I have Tony Hernandez.
Hello. Also known as her brother.
Yes, this is my older brother. So as I mentioned before, we go way back. He's known me since I was born.
Yes. Unfortunately.
No. So I wanted to talk to him because I feel like from a very, very, very early on, we as siblings, we always followed you. Why? I don't know. But it was just something that we constantly did. And I don't think we did it out of obligation. I think it was just we liked what you did and we just did it.
Just copied.
No, we didn't I don't know if it's copied, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and like the leadership roles that you currently have right now?
Yeah. So I think the main leadership role that I have is as an older brother, because I didn't get to choose that one, right? So it's like what I want to be. It just happened.
Yeah.
And I think it's you slowly develop it over time, and the reason why I think that happens is why you develop that leadership skill over time is because I'm seeing it with my son, so with Josue.
Yeah.
Because obviously he has now his sister, his brother, and you kind of start to take a little bit of command, not because you want to own it, it's just because you have ideas, and then they are new to the world, right? So they're like, oh, I've never seen that before. So you're kind of in a bit of an influencer for everybody else underneath you. So I think it's just you develop it over time. I will say, though, like, I wouldn't, even up to like 18, 21 years old, I would have not considered myself a good leader.
Yeah.
Even as an older brother, because I feel like I could have done a lot better. But it's now, though, now I think that, like, as an older sibling, you always have to, there's more pressure on you.
Yeah.
I'd always remember my dad, they'd be like, pórtate bien, tú eres un espejo. And now I find myself telling my kids that, and what that means is, like, be good, and because you're a mirror, you're an image for them, and they will mirror what you do, right? So I have found myself, like, looking back, I'm like, oh, wow, I don't know if I set the best example on some
in this
things.
way.
Yeah. But I do remember, like, si me seguían.
Like, yeah, like, I thought about my life and things that I've done. So you played the violin, and then I played the violin. He started at Party City. I went to Party City. He went to Skechers. I went to Skechers. You went to ASU. We all went to ASU. Yeah. And I think I honestly did it because of, not for you, but because I saw that example that you put. That's what I did. I mean, maybe when I was young, I was copying him, but like, I don't know. I did it because I saw you do it and you were successful at it. And I was like, you know what? If he can do it, then I can do it.
Well, it's because if you think about it, like, leaders in general pave a path. That's why they're called leaders, because they lead. They literally venture into the world where nobody has taken a step, right? If someone's already built a path for you, it's more of a you're just executing, right? You're already on that path. But a leader has to pave something new, and I think that's what you guys saw. Probably it started from the little games that we would play.
Yeah.
And we were always inventing games.
Yeah.
Right? And we got that from Ma.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've talked about Fear Factor with them, but maybe that's so we would my mom during summer breaks we would play. She was trying to entertain us, so she would set up Fear Factor. And for those of you that don't know, that's an older show that you would have to face big challenges,
big fears,
right? Examples of the show, not that we did, but of the show was like you had to stay in a room full of cockroaches crawling all over you for 10 minutes. Or you had to climb very tall heights and cross a bridge or something like that. So it's stuff that was going to challenge your fears.
Yeah.
Sometimes it even involved, like, you have to go catch grasshoppers and eat them, right? Something like that. So look up Fear Factor. I don't think it's a show anymore.
I don't know. I don't think it is.
Who's the...
Seth Rogen. No. Seth Rogen?
No, not Seth
Joe
Rogen.
Rogan.
Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan, now he leads this podcast, right? But before, he was kind of the main host of this.
Yeah.
So check it out if you want to know what we're talking about. But what my mom would do, she would she would have like these
Her own version.
her homemade like fear factors. So the one that I remember the most was like she filled up a sink with like chocolate milk, and she put chicken legs in there. No, chicken feet. Chicken feet.
Like
Chicken feet. The actual like chicken feet. And the idea is that like the winner, whoever took out the most chicken legs in a certain amount of chicken feet in the first amount of time, would win and go on to the next level.
Right.
Right. So there was stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And so we were always in inventing mode. I think we like Kelly invents words. I would invent games.
Yeah.
So, and I think you guys would see that and you're like, oh wow, he invents, and you would like what we do. So then by default, when you follow someone, you're like, I'm following them not because I'm forced. I'm following because I like what they see and I see the results.
Yeah.
Right. And this is where like when we were talking about like, okay, how did you know you were a good leader? I don't think I knew. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know I was a leader. Mm-hmm. I think it took me until like I was 21 years old. I'm like, oh, they're actually following me, and I should probably like and then but now fast forward even another 10 years. Now I'm like, I think I truly understand what good leadership needs to be. Mm-hmm. And it all comes down to two words: is servant leadership.
Okay.
So, and like the best and first example that we see is Jesus. Mm-hmm. Like a servant leader is someone who comes in and says, "I have authority, I have power, but you're gonna see none of that.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna come in behind the scenes and like, you need me to sit down and help you with something, I'm gonna sit down and help you. You need me to coach, I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna be like, hey, go do this and put you down. A servant leader builds up.
Yeah,
I see a servant leader as almost like a player coach." Mm-hmm. Right, so you have the coach who's like, get out there and run, and you see the little chunky guy trying to learn. That was me. Like, it was okay, learn. But then you see a servant leader comes in like, okay, you know what? Go out there and run, but I'm gonna run next to you. Come on, you do it. Come on, you can do it. So I'm literally running the race with you, and that's kind of my leadership style now. Like whenever I lead people at work, I always try to remember, like, there's people behind what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So putting people first. Yeah. And I think Jesus is like the first example of that, because like, what did he do? He has the full authority of the Father and can come in at any point in time and do miracles wherever, right? And we saw him do some of those, but like as someone with ultimate power, we can say, he came down and just sat with people. Yeah. He ate with them. He could have been like with like a lot of the disciples were expecting him to come with like rage and fury, take the kingdom, right? And they were actually expecting the Messiah to do that, but he's like, nope.
That's why I think when he did come, they were just like, there's no way. Yeah. Because it's
they unfortunately had the wrong perception of what the Messiah was going to come and do that first coming. Yeah. Right. So now I think it gets us to like show like that is the best example for, at least for me, like of true good leadership. Yeah. Because if you think about it, you're like, okay, was he a leader though? He just like did a couple miracles and died and came back to life, right? If we try to minimize what he did. But he actually came and he focused on 12 people. Right. He's like, that's my little team.
That's his team. Yeah.
That's my little work team. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And he's like,
and he knows them by name.
Yeah, and he knows them by, or that's my little family, my little, however you want to call it, my pod, my family, my crew, whatever. That was his little group. Yeah. And he worked with them day in and day out, like slept next to them, ate with them, traveled hundreds of miles with them by foot. So imagine all the conversations these guys had. Yeah. Right? If you guys haven't seen the show Chosen, okay, like I would highly recommend it. It's a really good show, but it shows, they obviously put additional stuff into the show. But I think it's possible that some of the stuff happened, like conversations as they're on their road to Galilee or something. It's stuff that would have happened. Yeah. We just don't know the specifics. So I think so let's look at that example. He talked to these people, and cool, he did his mission, he left. The impact that he made with those people, those 12 became, outside of one, those 12 became leaders themselves. He coached them. He paved the way. He was a servant leader to them. They then took on and went out to the world. And the only reason why we're even having this conversation today, why this podcast even exists, why even like anybody who's watching here and knows about Jesus is because of that group of 12. Yeah. And who was their leader? Jesus. So to me, it's like, that's the best example of leadership.
Yeah. But you did mention, so servant leadership, you feel, is what it boils down to. But if you could say what are other characteristics that you feel you possess as a good leader, what would those be?
Listening. I do think I listened. I didn't before. So I remember when me and Merly would have like conversations.
He'd be like, whatever.
I would get so mad that she was just copying me.
Yes,
And I should have taken it. I was like, wow, Tony, like
you're doing something.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like I didn't recognize that you actually have to have empathy for those around you. And part of empathy is listening, but I want to add one little word in front of listening. It's active listening.
Right. Yeah.
Because I could listen to somebody and I don't really do anything with it. But active listening is like I'm picking up what they're saying, I'm listening to it, and I'm applying it to either what words that I'm about to say or things that I'm about to do.
Yeah.
So I think that to me is one quality that I can say I have only because others have told me that I have it. I think the best qualities that you can know that you have it as a leader if someone else tells you.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can say, oh, I'm strong, I'm good at this, and then people that follow you are like, not really.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you like being a leader? No.
Well, it's a
like, do you like, because some people like, rewind. Do you consider that you are a naturally born leader? Like, I know we talked about in the last podcast that it's something that has to be developed. Yeah. But like you said, you didn't really have a choice. Like, in the brother sense, in the brother leadership.
I think some people are born into environments that are built as a catalyst to be a leader.
Okay.
Right. But I don't think anyone is born a leader.
Okay.
In my opinion. I think you have perfect environments where you can easily become a leader, but I think anybody can actually become a leader if you work towards it.
Right.
And to me, I think I had some of the correct ingredients, but like I didn't know how to bake the cake. So the ingredients were all there for me to become a really good leader, but I'm just like,
this is yummy.
I don't need this. I'm like, oh, just eat the frosting like that. Like I didn't really recognize that those were ingredients to build the cake. It wasn't until later in life I'm like, oh wow, I'm actually really good at this. And I think the reason is because like you have to recognize the talent that you have, that God is giving you, right? After a while, if you see a pattern over and over, I'm like, hey, people tend to follow me. That's usually a sign. Right? And the Bible says like God gives everybody different talents, right? And I'm not saying like, hey, everybody should go out and be a leader, right?
Yeah.
I think there's areas in my life where I am more influential and I can be a leader, but there's others area in my life where I'm definitely a follower.
Yeah.
So I don't think, again, to answer your question, I think I'm a leader in certain things, but not everything.
Not in everything. But do you like being a leader?
I don't I feel like that's a loaded question. Because like if someone says, do you like being a leader, that could be implied, do you like having power, do you like managing people? So I'm going to interpret it as like, if by leading, being a leader means influencing people, yes. I do like influencing people, whether it's like at work where like I paint the vision of like, this is what we're going to do in 3 years and let's build the plan now, or whether it's at home with my kids. Okay guys, this, like I like painting vision. And when I can help someone get like an aha moment, right? Where like they're going through life and they're like, oh, I get it. Yeah. I like those little moments. Yeah. And you see that as you're in leadership. Like you see them when they click. I like being a leader long enough so that they can become a leader and I can just leave. Yeah. Like I really like it's.
You like seeing them rise to that potential.
Right. Yeah. I like what they call being a multiplier leader. Okay. Yeah, there's a book out there. It's called Multipliers. Like it's a really good book because it talks about like how good leaders aren't just there to kind of demand things from people. They're there to grow people up, and eventually they can leave.
Well, I like that because I think every good leader needs to have a successor.
Yes.
Okay. Because whether or not they know, they're not always going to have that leadership power or be in that leadership position. And then if you haven't led someone else to do what you do, if you haven't coached them, then once you are out of that position, everything you have is going to crumble.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see that a lot in work, where like we see a lot of people that just they hold on to things, and they think what makes them valuable is the more things I hold on to, the more valuable I am. Yeah. But it's actually the opposite. Like we're seeing now, the leaders that are rising are the ones that can coach people up, and they bring in kind of someone who's not performing well, and that person comes in and transforms them, and now they can rise. Yeah. They can go on and do other things.
Yeah, and the people that hold on to everything, I don't necessarily consider them bad leaders. It's just you're not doing the group any good by continuously holding that.
And honestly, like if we think about just work stuff, the higher up you go, if you want to be like a COO, so chief operation officer, chief financial officer, chief people officer, chief marketing officer,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the higher up you go, it's less about the little things that you own, and it's more, can you manage people?
Yeah.
Can you manage high performing individuals? Right? Because if you can, then that's a skill of just like you can coach people. It's less about like I'm the only one that knows how to do all these things.
Yeah.
So
So another question that I had for you is, and you mentioned it before, is that sometimes there's a lot of pressure that goes into it. So with you being a leader in all the different areas that you are, do you
yeah,
feel that pressure?
at times yes, at times yes. So let's talk work wise. I do feel the pressure. We're like, hey, Tony, you're in charge of this thing, and it needs to meet this deadline, or it needs to cross this finish line. And if the team below isn't kind of meeting the expectations, you
Yeah.
feel the pressure of like, oh shoot, like we're not on track.
Yeah.
Right? So you do feel that pressure. In terms of like church related stuff, because I've had positions before in leadership for church, you feel the pressure también, but it's a different pressure. It's more like, if we don't do this right,
Yeah.
people won't get the message.
Yeah.
Or like, what if a broken person comes to church that day, and we don't got our stuff together?
See.
Like we mess up on the message, or we don't have the correct music set up, and we missed the window that God gave us the opportunity to save a soul that day, and because we weren't prepared, and I wasn't a good leader, we missed that. So like that pressure of like when you take the pulpit, and it's like you're delivering a word on behalf of God. Like I always get that pressure, and I think the day that I don't get the pressure, I need to be concerned, because that means I'm relying on myself and not God. So I think there's natural pressure that goes as part of leadership.
Yeah, and it's crazy that you say that, because recently I did not my first teaching, because I've taught before, but this is the first time at Oasis that I did that. And I went to him, I went to you, and it just so happened that when we went to California, I was in the room. I shared a room with him and his family, and I was like, I'm gonna put up a chat at this moment, and I'm gonna show you all my notes and everything that I went through. And again, he coached me through it. He wasn't just like, oh, that's wrong, that's bad, good luck. Like, you showed me how you did your planning, kind of like your research and stuff. And when you talked about pressure, like, I felt like when I went up there to the pulpit, I had so much pressure. Like, I'm used to doing this. I'm used to doing this. But when I went up there, I was like I know what you're talking about, because it's like that pressure where it's just like, is it me? This is on behalf of the Lord, and I want to do the best that I can.
Yeah. Yeah. So pressure is natural as part of leadership. And then it's also, you have to learn how to manage it.
Yeah. So my last question for you is, what advice would you give to a leader that is currently struggling?
Yeah. So I actually have a verse for that.
Okay.
Ahead of this, I'm like, what verse do I share with this? And I'm like, oh, this is a slam dunk. It was the first verse I ever learned by myself. And by myself, I mean, like, our parents will always teach us. I'm like, hey, learning the Word of God is good. Learning the Word of God will set you up for success in the future.
Yeah.
Especially because our future is not here in this world; it's eternal.
Right.
And so we're always learning verses: John 3:16, Genesis 1:1, right? Yeah. But then one day I found a little piece of paper, and I put it next to my bed. And I'm like, hey, it's a verse. And I'm like, okay, I'll start to learn it, I guess. And it's the first verse I learned by myself without anybody telling me to.
You, yeah.
So to me, it's like the first time I became a leader of my own spiritual life. And it's actually James 4:10. So it's humble yourself before the Lord, and He will lift you up. So to answer your question, I think if you're struggling and if you're already a leader and you want people to come to you, remember servant leadership.
Yeah.
You go to the people. Like, why do they need to come to you?
Yeah.
You go to them. People usually follow people that feel like they influence, that they paved for the good path. And it could be that maybe you just need to get closer with them. Don't expect people to come. Because when you have power and you expect people to come, that's a little bit of pride. Right? And I don't know. To me, what's helped me is like, pride aside, I could have power. You can call me whatever. I don't care. But like, I'm there to help people. Right? And if it means you're going to put me in a leadership position because I help people, then great. If not, who cares? But like I
Yeah.
think at the end of the day, following Jesus' steps on how he was a leader, and his word tells us to like humble ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that's the number one quality that a fantastic leader has is humility.
Humility.
And that you will never hear if you hear a if you hear a leader say, "Yeah, my biggest quality is I'm very humble."
Oh, that's why you didn't say it when I asked you.
Well, no, because I'm like, to be honest, people will come to you and like, yeah, he's humble.
Yeah.
Right. But don't mistake that for like humble means they can step all over them.
Right.
Right. Like I've seen some very humble leaders, but they're very firm on some stances that they take.
Yeah.
Right? Or they're in church leadership is very firm on faith. Right. It's humility doesn't mean that you're lowest on the totem pole in terms of like people can step on you, right? It just means like the way you approach things. There's no pride inside of you.
Yeah.
You're just there for the people that you serve.
Yeah. And what were you gonna say? Because I cut you off. You're like a good leader. You'll never hear them say.
Yeah, you never hear them say that like, oh, I'm humble, because I think if they're saying, oh yeah, I'm a humble leader, like that it doesn't.
No, you're not.
Like does not compute. Like you can't call yourself humble, right?
Yeah.
Other people call you humble.
Yeah.
So like you can't call yourself, yeah, I'm nice. Like then the other people
Call you nice.
Call you nice.
Oh, okay.
Right. So most of your qualities come from the people that you serve.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this is my big brother, everybody. Thank you for being here. I know it took a little while to, like I mentioned before with siblings, like
3 months. 3 months.
Yeah, it's just it's because like our schedules are crazy. Like he has 3 kids, he's married, he lives over there, I'm over here, and he's working, so it's a lot that goes into it. But when there's a word that needs to be given, God makes the time for it because his timing is always perfect. Anything else you needed to add?
That is it. Happy. Well, actually, a little story.
Okay.
So, she's not lying that she was. I was saying copying me on everything, right? So like the violin, the school, right? But I think after she got married, right? She started taking her own steps by herself, right? So she beat me to marriage. She beat me to kids. So in a way, though, it's like.
But it wasn't a competition, Don.
What you? That's for a different topic. No, but what I'm saying is like, to me that was like wow, she's doing her own thing now.
Right.
Right. So now she's like, to me that's I'm like, oh, I don't think I was a good leader then, right? But I'm like, I think towards the tail end, I'm like, oh, I probably could have been a better leader. But like now I see you doing your own things, and to be honest, there's things now that I learned from you. Going back to
tell me so I can write it down.
I've told you this story. So,
yeah, I know.
Like it's like I said before, I think I'm a leader in some areas, but I don't think none of us are leaders in everything. So like I've seen the way you kind of run your family in terms of like, oh yeah, we have these things on the wall, and then like we would never do that. Like I'm like, no, why do we need that? But now we're like, hey, maybe we should do some of this stuff.
Yeah.
The way you kind of study and the Bible and kind of you highlight your stuff and you're old school. You do notes.
I'm no. Yeah.
And to me, it's like, maybe there's something to it. So it's like para que sepas, like I'm learning from you now too, right? But so I think we all, and that's where you have to set your pride aside and be like, no, I'm never gonna learn from her. She's a copier, right? Like no,
you miss me copying you.
No. No, but I think it's like para que sepas. I think it comes to a point where like we all learn from each other.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know. That's why I want to say, like, I think I'm proud of the person that you've become. I mean, this entire podcast was like, wow. Like, to be honest, nunca me lo imaginé that you would be doing this.
Yeah.
And also for the reasons that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Right. You have not promoted one single product. Like, you're not here out for the money. You're not here for none of this, right? It's just more like, I want people to share for God. And to me, that makes me very happy because when we were very small, we would invent games and stuff. And on one situation, we got very mad at each other, and I invented a little program. Right?
I know what it is.
All right, what was it called?
It's OPK.
Yeah, it was Project OPK. So Project Operation Perfect Kid, because we all realized we were being mean to each other. So like, okay, everybody write a list of all the bad things that you've done, and then make a list of how we're gonna change all those bad things. Yeah. And to me, my vision in there, I'm like, hey, what if we could all be really good? And it's crazy because like technically now we all do it. Like you're arguing, how can I be better? How can I help others? And now you're the one helping others through this podcast. So just
gracias a Dios. I mean, honestly, when I look at all this stuff, and I will confess that this interview has been my most intimidating one because it's like this is someone like not to diminish anyone else that I've interviewed, but it's like I feel like not that you judge me. There's another word for it that like I don't know. I don't know. I really really care about like I don't know. I need I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I think that you value the opinion is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, but I value everyone else's. Like everyone else that I've had on
Yeah,
podcasts.
but this one comes a little bit more because this is someone you've been competing with.
This is true. I actually that see how he knows this stuff. So yeah, so I feel like when I was prepping for this and I was just like, oh my goodness, like what is Tony gonna bust out that I need to beat him to it or something. But it's like I don't know. I have so much respect for you and everything that you've done and everything that you continue to do. And even though like I mentioned in the previous podcast, even though we don't live together anymore or we don't see each other on a daily, weekly basis, like I just know that my brother is someone that I can count on. My brother is someone that regardless of what happens and it's like you said it's what you've learned it from and I think you've learned a lot of that from that. Yeah. Like our dad, he is a pillar of our family and he's just taught us all of these things and I feel like you are a beautiful reflection of him like and the things that you do and
well it's funny you mentioned that. I don't know if he's gonna watch this but like
he better be watching it.
But like the way you feel about me is how I feel about Manda.
Yeah,
so I think it comes in layers like when they tell me an opinion, when if Doc comes in and tells me or Ma comes in an opinion, like like I listen.
Yeah,
I listen. And,
that's true.
And then I'm like, oh, what are they gonna say? Especially if Da, like, because he was always showing us like, hey, this is how you have to, especially
right.
for me as a
guy,
like,
yeah.
This is how you have to run your money. This is how you have to run your family. Like, mm-hmm. And when I'm like, I don't know if I did something right. I still get a little bit of that intimidation, but it's like I know what you mean. It's like it's a respect thing,
right?
Like I don't want to let you down, kind of thing. So it's like I think you're right. Like I think we all, like I mentioned, like leadership comes in layers, and we're supposed to pass these quality ons to the
Did
people.
I do a good job?
We'll let the viewers decide.
Okay, awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you guys for being here. Whether you want to send those prayer requests, please feel free to do so. And then I think that wraps it up. I think I'm good. Are you good? Yeah. Okay, say bye.
Oh, there's 3 requests.
Bye.
Okay.